This is assignment 19, and a lot of what we've done before in other videos are in this one. So this one is kind of more on your own. I will go through it so that you can understand the basics. We have a model space and a layout paper space, and so we're working with 3D. So if we go to the top view, we can draw this before we do anything, before we change anything. We have 2D wireframe and the top view right here. We did change our ribbon. Well, at this point, you don't need to, but it might still be back at the 3D ribbon, which is the last thing that we used. You can still use this because there's a draw panel and a modify panel and the layers that we can use. If you look at what we really have here, you can see that we have kind of a box down here. And this circle is supposed to be, the center point is the midpoint of this like box, right? So you could start with this 0.5 and go over and down 2.5 and over and walk all the way around this, and then make sure that this line is all one line. That's right. So you could actually draw the whole thing as 5. That's right. So draw the whole thing as 5, so that you can draw the circle from the midpoint of this line, and then you have another circle right here. That's what that is. That's also from the midpoint of that, right? So you can see it develop already, where you have these two circles, and now you're going to create an offset to get these 0.5 sides and trim it. And fairly quickly, you should have this 2D geometry. Now you come over here and go to the southeast isometric view. You change it to conceptual if you'd like. You use press pull to press pull this up 1.5. Then go back and use 3D rotate. So that shape is going to be laying flat here. 3D rotate we did in the previous assignment. You can rotate this up 90 degrees and then pull it over here. So just hold your left mouse button down, pull it over here. Remember, we want to pick up this UCS icon and put it on this face so that we can put this dimension in here. I do want you to see something here. If I pick up this UCS icon and put it on this face, when I place a linear dimension, it's going to go down like this. It's okay. I think it would be appropriate to use that dimension if you'd like in this project, whether it's up here or over there. In order for me to get it to be flat like in the assignment, I would need to move this over here and then lay it down so that the Y is back and flat. The X is in this direction, and then I can place this. Let me just go ahead and do that so I can show it to you just like that. So, oh, and you have to watch your object snaps as well. Those will pull you around in different directions. Sometimes I have to come way over here so that those object snaps aren't pulling me where pulling the objects into that. Okay, so either one of these is fine, just not both. And it really does make a difference in where the UCS icon is. So then you type in UCS and enter twice, and it goes back into this corner. All right. So once you have all your dimensions on your top view and that dimension there, we did create a layer called viewports. At this point, you can create a layer called viewport and put it on there and make sure it's a no plot layer. I think that that's a better way to work with it. You see the little printer has a little red dot. I'm fine that most companies are using that, but some are putting those viewports on the def points layer as well. So then you switch over to layout 1 right there. At this point, you want to make sure that your viewport layer is current so that you can draw these boxes on these holes or viewports on the viewport layer. And you go to the layout tab. Remember we did that? And this time we can just use rectangular. So then once you create these, you double click inside. And this is where you can change, make sure that this one is top and make sure it's 2D wireframe. If it's still in conceptual, even though it's 2D wireframe, will print a little bit different. So make sure that it's 2D wireframe. And then over here, we are using a custom view because inside this, you can hold your shift key and you wheel of your mouse and kind of rotate it around to what you need to make it look like that. Now, double clicking outside of the paper, you can then make sure that you change your layer. Guys, it's very important that you are careful that only the viewports are on the viewport layer because that's not going to print, right? And so make sure that this text is on then the dim text layer. And we did say that we're going to use white for the dim text layer. It's a little bit better when you're working with this conceptual visual style. And that's it. You can then, when you print it, make sure that you see, when I print this, here's that little trick. If I pick previous plot, it will pick up my previous plot. And now I can basically just pick apply to layout, but make sure I preview it. And there it is. So you should not see the boxes in your PDF. Okay, so you should have enough tools for this. I made it simple, just a little bit of 2D geometry, a little press pull, a little 3D rotate, going back to dimensioning both top view and one dimension in your model. It doesn't matter if it's coming out this way or going down, and then creating your layout with the two different views.